Welcome back to the Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Shushi Zed. Coffee Pod did a good video on Dr. UMAR, which I kind of have a lot of issues with. I don't hate the man or anything, but I do dislike some of the things he says and the rhetoric he pushes. So, again, thank you guys for 5,000. I'm excited for my partner to come in. I'm just keep plugging this in. We actually have a fight night coming up. We'll promote that here, and if you guys want to come to the fight night, first round of drinks is on us, and come and enjoy the fight night at Dan Henderson's gym in Temecula. So please like and subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate that, and let's get that chow. It's chow time.
Joseph, YouTube, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Shushi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Let's get it.
Do you know how powerful that would be?
Right.
If black men and black women stop the dumb shit on social media and say we're going to fight because we got a common enemy, white supremacy.
There's a lot more rhetoric from our women that we hear is, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, right? So,
That's pain speaking about.
Right.
Because most black women know they will never get a man. A black woman can have sex whenever she wants.
Right.
Because she's beautiful. She can have a bed mate, but to have a soul mate, she may never get. I have two daughters, 11 and 20, right?
Yeah, that you kind of didn't marry the two mothers. You made two single mothers out of them. So it's
oldest will
hypocrisy.
be 21 this week. Statistically, right? There's a strong chance my daughter could be one of those. I hope she's not. She could be one of those who never get a husband because only 1 out of 4 gets a husband. You see that? So when a black woman says, I don't need a man, that is a reaction to the reality.
I'm pretty sure they're not going to get a husband because their mothers are single mothers because they dealt with you. So it usually, comes back around for the kids also. Just from what I've seen.
Reality that I may not get a man.
Oh, boo, this is not the question you should be asking, how long I've been married. The question you should be asking is, how many times have I been proposed to?
I also refuse to date a partner who can't do certain things, but it's way more than cooking and clean, so I made a list.
You see, because I'm the type of bitch don't have to just cling to the first nigga who wants me or wants to marry me. See, that's the problem.
Right.
Y'all females feel like you have to be attached to a man.
So he really seemed like a good catch, like a genuinely good guy. He was like 6'3", no kids, a lawyer, decent looking. I'm like, okay. Now, when I go to his page, y'all.
Right. Mm-hmm.
When I went to his page, if he would have tried to talk to me straight from his page, I would have never responded.
And everything on this
It's ridiculous that these women are average. Maybe slightly above average. Maybe. But definitely average. And yet, they don't want to date a 6'3" lawyer? Why?
list is not even, this is the bare minimum. 1, drive a stick shift. I have a Jeep Wrangler. I drive a stick shift. If you can't do that, we can't be together. Ride a motorcycle. I have a motorcycle. I ride a motorcycle. If you can't do that, you're not my guy. Swim. I'm not kidding. How much gonna go jump off the cliffs in Italy and what? You're gonna be up there watching me? No. Build a house.
So when a black woman says, I don't need a man, that is a reaction to the reality that I may not get a man.
I could have been had a husband for the sake of saying that I have a husband. I could have been had a husband for the sake of saying that I have a husband.
Right.
That's not what I want to do. I want a real teammate and a real partner.
Period. At all. I liked some pictures on his page, but honestly, I didn't even like the pictures because none of his stuff on his page was pleasing to me. None of it looked good.
Sew a button back on your shirt. I'm not kidding on this one. That's just like a skills thing. If you can't sew a button back on your shirt, if you can't figure that out, no.
But and he gave corny, lame, but I be giving him a chance now. You know what I'm saying? I be giving him.
Whew, guys, this is the coffee in here is just so strong. The coffee in here is just so strong. Do I need to start a coffee brand? This shit is wild.
A chance. I'm trying to find a husband. But I realized I can do corny. I can't do lame.
Or when you meet a woman and you say, sister, I'm strong enough to be your man. You ain't got to work or you ain't got to pay the bills or whatever. Pull back. I got you. And she can't do it because all the other men before you who disappointed her So what I'm saying is, black men, we got to be patient with our women because we created that personality. We created that, and then we want to act like we didn't.
It's also through choices. Like, women have choices, man. Like, if they choose not to be with good men, there's nothing that men can actually do about that, in a sense, other than the Pookie and Ray Rays are going to do what Pookie and Ray Rays are going to do, which is you, Mr. Dr. Umar.
Play a role.
We have to be held accountable for their poor selection.
No, you have to be held accountable. No, you have to be held accountable because they have a poor selection.
You know what I really think deep down inside? I think that Michael B. Jordan is just like a nice, corny guy. And I don't mean that as a slight, right? I mean, we all know that the nice, corny guys treat you the best.
You know, it's so crazy. I went to school with Michael B. Jordan
See, they know that they can get treated better. They truly know this. But that's not the men they want. That's not the choice that they make, Dr. Umar.
Point in life, and we went to Chad Science together in Newark. And to be honest with you, we teased him all the damn time because his name was Michael Jordan. Let's start there. And he was no Michael Jordan. And then he also would come to school with headshots. And back then, that was like in the hood. We lived in Newark. Yeah, like that's the hood. You know what I mean? So. We would make fun of him, like, what you gonna do with your little stupid headshots? Like, and now look at him.
Now look at him. He got that Black Panther money.
Well, yeah, I didn't exactly.
See, what you're saying, you're selecting a poor mate. And what I'm saying is they don't have much to select one, so of course you're going to end up with a poor mate.
Shut the fuck up. There's 50% of African-American men that aren't married with no kids that have decent jobs that would treat women well. But yet, the selection that's being made is not these men. That's why these men are leaving the country and being passport bros. Like, he upsets me. Just like, kind of like the rhetoric that he pushes, it's putting all the blame on men, especially African-American men, when they were raised by single mothers themselves. Like, who is perpetuating what, in a sense? It's the single motherhood that's perpetuating everything.
For those of you who might be lost about this whole situation, The Pineapple Show is a YouTube-based dating show that's hosted by Melly Monaco, and the show will have a featured guest, which is usually a woman who will cycle through different guys. If she's not feeling the guy, she says pineapple, and that's what happened with the nuclear physicist. The featured female guest pineappled him on the basis of what she said was lack of personality.
About pineapples.
Yeah. Why?
Because he literally didn't tell me any qualities about himself. He's just like, I made a 96 on this. I did this. And I feel like I did that at first too. But however, I need a man with some personality.
And why is she going to end up with a poor mate? Because we as black men are not raising black boys to be the men that our women need. We are not. They out there killing themselves right now. What we doing about it?
I do agree that men are the leaders and men do, decide how society works overall. But when it's been broken to where that's the status that it is through other, outside forces, I'm not going to mention the outside forces, and then it gives women these options to do, to be single mothers, to take advantage of the system and doing all these things, and women are choosing it. It's hard for men to go against it. We can't force women to make other choices, not into that degree. If all men decided to not do it, then yes, but there's too many simps out there that makes it so hard for the regular males out there to be able to do that.
Employ black males, what we doing about it? Pants sagging, weed smoking, what we doing about it? Black men are not raising black boys to be the men our community needs. That is 100% our fault.
There's been this landmark study from the Center for Disease Control, which debunked many of the myths surrounding black fathers. It found that the majority of black fathers live with their children. Black fathers are more likely to help their children with their homework, prepare meals, bathe and dress their children compared to fathers of other races. So the absent or dead...
I can agree with this. My father did not do those things. He didn't help bathe. He didn't really cook. He didn't really help me with homework like that. He just couldn't. Like, he's an immigrant, so it's hard for him to help me with English homework. But from what I can tell through my own family, yeah, my father was just too busy providing and making money. He didn't do the fatherly things that, you know, what Americans kind of feel that fathers do overall. I never really got that, which is fine. I still grew up perfectly fine. But if I had more guidance, I had more, you know, one-to-one with my father, I think I would have probably not done a lot of the mistakes that I've made in life.
Deadbeat black father myth that many in America believe is really more like a lie.
What I'm saying is she got a right to be angry with us. She got a right to be angry with us.
I understand
we have not been on our job as black men. If the men are the providers, what have we been providing for our community?
So the absent or deadbeat black father myth that many in America believe is really more like a lie.
And the minute she raised her voice, we say she not humble enough. She had to become masculine to survive the domestic. Are you?
You're saying all women that are loud and masculine all had to survive through all of that? Because there's plenty of women that didn't go through any of that, but yet are loud and aggressive.
Telling me you can't see how we created that?
I understand that, but she needs to be
If we was loving
selective.
our women and taking care of our women, do you think she would be like that? That personality has a history.
If she's picking Pookie and Ray Ray instead of
You're making her a scapegoat.
No, she's picking a scapegoat.
No.
There's good quality men that they ignore.
Why she even got it? Why is there even a Pookie in the selection?
This is such a real thing.
Because there's bad men everywhere. Like, every community has their own Pookies and Ray Rays. It's not just the African American community. Yes, some communities have more than others. Like, the white community also has their Chads and, you know, things like that. Asians don't have so much just because Asians weren't, like, raised to be able to, like, kind of do those types of things. But there are still some. I'm sure there's plenty of Asian men running through women like crazy. It's just not the norm. So there's bad actors everywhere. You can't stop bad actors from being bad actors. It is what it is, Mr. Dr. Umar.
I'm going to even go this far as to say majority of the attractive men in our community usually be hood dudes. And I hate to say that. I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, hate to say that because it's sad.
You got to accept it.
No. I'm going to tell you why there's a Pookie in the selection.
What?
Because black men have abandoned black boys and have allowed social media, white media, athletes, and rappers to raise them. That's why she with Pookie.
It's sad that majority of the attractive men that black women have to choose from, they are hood, right? And they don't come with good qualities. Nope. They come with the baby mamas, the felonies, the no job, the no car. And a lot of women are willing to look over that so that they can get an attractive man. It don't make it right. I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm telling the truth. If you go to the hood, you're going to see some of the finest men that exist in our community.
If we never allow Pookie to develop, she would not have a Pookie.
There are the men that's corporate, but thuggish, but did a little time, but are reformed, that been a thought, but want to be in love now. Where y'all at? Please tap in. Please tap in.
I'm not willing to deal with that. Not me personally. His fineness ain't enough to override the fact that he ain't got other desirable qualities, but a lot of women are.
But when I hear brothers talk like this discourse we having now, we act like we don't understand.
No,
there's reasons for that shit.
I do understand.
Every community has their bad apples. Most women try not to choose those bad apples, but in the African American community, they gravitate towards those bad apples the most. That is a choice that these women make. Yes, most women do want bad, the bad boy, the fuck boys and all these things. And they all get screwed over. African American community is not immune to this. Like, all communities are not immune to this.
Women are so valuable. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think women ground men and help them, propel to to the next level. I think men get further in life with a woman, right? But if I'm a hardworking man, but I'm only looked at as resources, and then she's ready to jump on Tom, Dick, and Harry because he got flash, he's shining a little bit more, his access to money is quicker than mine. It's kind of hard to have that.
Well, no, one, I agree with you, but that's not all sisters.
You can never tell black women to settle. No more wasting time, guys. Let's get it.
You're saying maybe you should not want a man with money so that you can find someone who makes you happy. And I am saying you should not push back on somebody's preference just so they can find happiness. That is a settlement. You should never encourage black women to.
What's the point of having a relationship and marriage? Isn't that for happiness, or, you know, what do you want out of it? Just money and resources, right? That's exactly what you want. Like, men want happiness and a legacy. They don't want to marry someone and have to deal with, you know, trauma and just all this bull crap that comes with it. They'd rather just be left alone and be happy with their family.
Settle. The fact that black
let me just
please, can I finish my statement? Just
no, you can't. Now you're gonna listen.
Gotcha.
Now you're gonna listen. Because I listened to you, so now you're gonna listen.
Right.
It's getting heated.
It's giving pick me. It's giving pick me. It's giving pick me. And you do this to every black woman that comes on here.
But you watch my show.
But
you here at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I love differing opinions. I love differing opinions. But it's giving pick me, Kendra. Just because you don't have high standards for yourself, Kendra, doesn't.
The disrespect. The disrespect.
At 4 a.m. If you feel that way,
you want to settle. We don't have to.
No, it's not.
And if you're constantly running into that type of woman, then the problem is you, because you're attracting a certain low vibrational energy. Why
not have that same energy for women? You just again, you have
because
the man
we have a conversation as men.
Yeah,
I got plenty of interviews with all women where I check them too.
Dr. Umar slams Kevin Samuels and says that his impact and work was divisive and destructive to the black community. Ladies and gentlemen, proof that modern women, you gotta watch this one the whole way through, proof that modern women love men who lie to them.
I thought it was very Eurocentric in his approach to criticism. I think his expectations for women were very superficial in terms of what was important. There was a heavy focus on how much you make and how good you look. No woman is going to look good forever. No. They're going to get pregnant. They're going to get older. To me.
Hold on a second. So Dr. Umar just said no woman is going to look good forever. I don't know. Does that sound a little bit like Kevin Samuels sort of said that? Did he not remind women on countless occasions that they're on a biological clock? What are you talking about, bro? Put down the tea.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Telling women that you are too fat or too small or too broke, and that's the reason why you don't have a man, that is psychopathological. And
I mean, the broke women that don't have jobs, that don't have anything going for themselves, yes. That's what he was talking about. That they expect high value men when they have no value themselves in any way possible.
It is destructive to our community. I did not agree with his approach at all. And the fact that he did have a lot of people who did speaks to how decadent and speaks to how self-hating we can be as a people. And I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of the women who supported Kevin Samuels supported him because they don't like other black women, and they enjoyed sitting back on their couch, sipping their tea, and watch this.
It's called accountability, brother.
Black man tear black women's self-esteems to shreds.
All right, guys, you heard it for yourself. So Dr. Umar had a lot to say. Bottom line is he thinks Kevin Samuels did more destruction than anything else to the black community. And listen, my only question to Dr. Umar would be, is this you?
Around all through your 20s. Stop around all through your 30s. You give your 20s to the street Negroes.
It's okay.
You give your 30s to the pretty boys. They use you up, dog you out. Now you're in your 40s.
Damn.
And nobody's jumping to marry you. And so now you're saying it ain't no good black men. No.
Sounds like Kevin Samuels to me.
There's plenty of good black men. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it, and now you see your biological clock is ticking.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, but didn't you just say that age doesn't matter?
And your beauty clock. See, you got a biological clock, how long you can have those babies, and you got a beauty clock, how long you gonna be looking good. A biological clock, how long you gonna have them babies,
and a beauty clock,
how long you gonna be looking good. And guess what? When you hit those 40s,
it's weird that he repeats himself like that.
Don't get me wrong, black don't crack.
Yes,
but
it
everybody declines.
Women bring the choice of life, right? We understand that, right? I can't have a child unless a woman agrees.
And she can't carry one if you didn't put it in her.
I agree with that 100% too, right? But whether or not, if you want that child or not, she can still make that decision. It's only up to her.
If you don't put a seed in her, nothing else happens. And no woman can make you put a seed in her. So the original act was the responsibility of a man.
True.
Well, since we want to go to school, let me take you there.
Let's go.
This is the difference. This is the difference. And I want you to understand that. Because a lot of women feel like they want to compete with a man, and these men are running all over the place. And it's wrong. It's wrong all day long. Right. However, when you understand the basic biological facts, you get the difference. We, women, bear the children. Correct. Meaning they can orbit in uncertainty indefinitely, not knowing whether or not they're the father, when we know for certain we're the mothers. Yes. And we are responsible. And that's the difference we have to teach our young girls. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
So yeah, we can run around and sleep with whomever we want to sleep with. But when it's time for the consequence, when you slept with more than one person, you set them in limbo.
Yeah. And the weight all lays right here.
I'm a woman too. I ain't young no more, but I wish. I am a woman as well. We have responsibilities to a child. Until we figure out who their father is, the child still's got to eat. That's the difference, and that is what we need to tell our young girls so we are empowered to know the difference. You all running around here having sex like it's Ring Around the Rosie or something. It's not a game.
Yep, leave the streets.
This is about a person. So it's not about, us saying that it doesn't matter when men sleep around. Yes, it does matter.
But
I just heard my daughter take responsibility. I believe that he should apologize.
He hasn't just been, look, I haven't been there through the pregnancy, but Miss Kavanaugh, what your daughter learned was a very valuable lesson. A, pick and choose very wisely. Who you gonna lay down with, right?
I'm sorry, man. Just maybe if the judge says it, they'll hear it. Maybe if the judge says it, they'll hear it. But most likely,
no, I'll have a tea actually.
They'll have a tea.
And look, you cannot make a man love you by trying to have his baby or trick him into having his baby.
And I never said that she could.
It's true. Look, these aren't lessons just your daughter has to learn. These are lessons all women had to learn. I had to learn it. A lot of women in this courtroom had to learn it. You got to respect yourself.
Shut up.
Enough to know. If he don't want you, leave him alone.
That's true, Your Honor.
That's it.
I mean,
all right. So, did black men willingly leave the household, or was it the system that was?
It was systemic.
All right. So, how, if we giving them grace for them having to do it without us, but it wasn't our fault, how are we not getting that same grace and that same respect?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because black men, as the leaders of the community, now
we can't be leaders.
Here's the question we got to make.
That?
Here's the question. Because the argument y'all make, feeds into the feminist agenda.
Okay,
it's an argument that says I don't want the responsibility.
I'm a leader.
I don't want to fix shit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fall back. and let her run everything. That's what the feminists tell. They say, look at them, making excuses for why they can't be better men, making excuses for why they can't make better men. You understand? Your argument feeds the feminist narrative. That's
not what we make excuses for.
I'm saying I am the better man, but I shouldn't be held responsible because you wanted to choose a Pookie and a Ray Ray. That's not me. I work too hard in my
go
life.
Back to what I said. Pookie and Ray Ray shouldn't exist. And the only reason why Pookie and Ray Ray exist because we're not in the community making those boys the men they need to be.
Yeah, so I normally don't date women with kids because I don't have any kids, but you could be special, so I'm definitely willing to give this a try.
Right. Well, just so you know, dating single mothers is a little different than dating these other ones.
Okay.
There's things that I come with that you're gonna have to accept if you want to be with me.
Like what?
Well, first of all, my kids will always come first, so you will never be number one. So let's start with that.
Okay.
Second thing is, if we become this big happy family, you're gonna have to make enough money to support me and my kids. I'm talking about birthdays, Christmas, holidays, vacations. So you have to know this is one big package deal.
All right.
Oh yeah, and you can't discipline my kids, okay? If you put your hands on them, you're going to prison. That job is between me and their father. And speaking of their father, you're gonna have to accept that he's part of this family. So you're gonna have to learn how to deal with him. I don't know how you're gonna do it. Y'all can go in the backyard, fight it out, whatever you gotta do.
Fight it out. I'm out.
So you can't expect me to be spontaneous. See, when kids are involved, there's things I have to do before I can just get up and go somewhere. You gotta get babysitters, you gotta get dressed, you gotta pack bags. So you can't expect that from me, okay? You can't just spring stuff on me, okay? You have to understand that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if this is for me. That sounds like an awful lot. What? What? Hold up, you just said it's hard.
It's only hard if you're a weak man. You're ugly anyway, and I bet you're gay.
I'm not. What? I was just handsome 2 minutes ago.
It don't matter. I need a real man anyway.
I'm not a real man? You know what? All right. Okay, sure, yeah. Check, please.
You still gonna pay for dinner?
Umar, we
men supposed to make the raise the boys.
Right. We as men is holding other men accountable for the same thing that you talking about right now.
What are we doing for the young brothers in the street? So
what you mean, mentoring them? Now I mean he's a great father.
I ain't talking about that's individual. That's good, but that's individualism. Yeah. What are we doing collectively as men to?
So you want all African American men that are good men to go father single mothers or kids from single mothers? What are you talking about?
Change the trajectory for black boys in the streets right now. Nothing.
We're being
but talking shit.
Talk to us more like Umar. The Prince of Pan-African. Big Papa's in the house. Run my donations. I mean, shout out to Umar. I ain't got no problem.
Rest in peace, Godfather.
What to do, but I think it's funny y'all keep coming over here asking everybody to talk like Umar. Queen Mother Garland. Cocoa Butter and sea moss gold and shit.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Blows my mind. That Chow was disgraceful to me. Like, again, I don't really have anything against the man himself, but his messaging is just off key. Blaming everything on men, how men this, men that. I can agree somewhat men are the leaders of their community, but when outside forces, like you agreed upon, did what it did, and then, there's a lot of single mothers out there that are raising, single boys, or, how you expect the good men in the community just come into these women's rescue and help out these boys? They have their own family and their own things to deal with. Pookies and Ray Rays are always going to exist in all cultures and all races. Stop picking them. Please like and subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. It's Chow time.